Ugh, ads are such poop. Subscribe to Acast Plus now to skip ads and more for just $1 a month. Click the link in our show notes to learn how. And hey, we're on Patreon too. Your support helps cover the cost of running a podcast. For $2 a month, you can get early access to all our episodes ad-free, plus bonus episodes exclusive to Patreon subscribers only. Visit patreon.com/sacrilegious discourse to sign up now.
Want your most burning finance and investing questions answered? Here's a podcast you should be listening to, courtesy of Acast Recommends.
Are you ready for some personality in your personal finances? Hi, I'm Janice Torres Rodriguez, Latina money expert and host of the award-winning podcast Yo Quiero Dinero. On this show, we're serving up POC-friendly personal finance knowledge, always with a side of sass. We're not talking about avocado toast and lattes on this show. We've got real, relatable personal finance knowledge that makes you feel seen, heard, and finally understood. Consider me your super cool, slightly risque, but always honest financial fairy godmother. Together, we'll tackle dinero in a fresh new way so you can finally become poderosa with your dinero. Check out our weekly podcast episodes at yoquierodineropodcast.com or subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts.
Acast helps creators launch, grow, and monetize their podcasts everywhere. Acast.com.
Welcome to Sacrilegious Discourse.
I'm husband.
And I'm wife.
Together, we're reading the Bible for the very first time.
We grew up without religion and wanted to know what all the fuss was about.
Well, what have we learned so far?
That God is a dick, and apparently some people believe in talking donkeys.
We're not trying to pass ourselves off as experts.
Nope, we're just reading the Bible for the first time and giving our first take reaction.
If you'd like to join us in this venture, you might consider starting at episode 1.
Otherwise, jump in wherever you like.
All right, let's go read the Bible.
Yeah, let's get to it. Husband!
Wife!
Do you remember what happened the day before yesterday?
Yeah, so... we should probably address that real quick. So, yeah, we started looking at what we have coming up here. Mm-hmm. And our schedule was either going to be cramming it all into the next few days and doing, like, 10 episodes in, like, 3 days.
Yeah.
And we're like, fuck that.
Yeah, basically.
Because wife really loves to end our books on the end of a week. So, like, so we can do the Saturday and Sunday episodes correctly.
Yeah.
So we decided to take a 1-day break instead of cramming it all in and come back and we're gonna spread everything out through the end of next week and maybe do a couple of oddball episodes next week as well. So that's how we're playing this. And yeah.
So sorry about last night. We were like, what on earth? No.
Right, yeah.
Got a little overwhelmed.
Definitely. As for what happened in the last episode 2 days ago, so we had a guy that was Manasseh, right?
Yes.
Yeah. He was king, and he was a shit-ass king.
He was a shit-ass bad boy,
killing
baby
his
burning.
Fucking, yeah, he was killing his babies and fucking doing all kinds of bad shit. And then God didn't do anything to him. He reigned for like 50 years, and he said he was sorry at one point. Like,
well, only because he got attacked, and so then he was like, "Oh shit!" And they put a hook through his nose, and he's like, "Guess I better tell God sorry."
Right.
And so then he told God sorry, and so then he got to be let go, and then he was like, "I guess I'll do good now."
But no, other kings, they do something wrong. They're like, "Bam, leprosy."
Yep.
Bam, dead.
Yep.
I'm like, what? Where's the smiting? Where's the fucking punishment?
Right.
No, he gets to just apologize for burning babies?
I know.
Fuck you. It's fucking bullshit.
Total bullshit.
All right, on to something a little nicer, though.
Well.
Oh, well.
I was
okay, sorry.
Not done summarizing.
Yeah. No, go ahead.
So he said sorry, and then so he got to be buried with the kings when he died, and then his son Ammon took over.
Oh, that's right, for like 2 seconds.
For 2 seconds, and then he got killed, but then the people that killed him, the people were like, "How dare you kill our bad king?"
Right,
so then they killed those guys.
Right. And then they installed one of his sons.
Yeah, they made Josiah his king.
Yeah.
His
crazy ass shit.
Replacement.
That's stupid.
Yeah. So
whatever.
So I felt like it was important to not just stop at Manasseh.
Yeah, there was other kings in there. Sorry, my bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, so on to nicer stuff, though.
Nicer stuff.
We have a new patron.
What?
Yeah. They subscribed on Patreon here just recently, and their name is Victor T.
Victor T.
And they subscribed. I didn't even know this was a level. Must be something in a different country. I'm not really sure, but it's at like a $3.50 level or something.
Oh my God, that's amazing,
which
Victor
is
T.
Awesome.
Thank you.
It's awesome. Every bit helps. I mean, seriously, like I couldn't say enough, but like if just like half of our listeners, which would never happen, but if it did, they all subscribed at the lowest level. Shit, we could like just travel around and meet everybody.
That would be really fun.
We're gonna come see you and you and you. I mean, maybe in groups, but we'll come see you.
I mean, like, you should probably be vaccinated, though.
Well, yeah.
I'm still a little leery of the whole coronavirus thing, but yes.
Maybe in the summer we can have like a outdoor, meet and greet at a picnic shelter or something.
That would be so fun.
Yeah.
But Victor T, thank you so much. It's so appreciated. You just can't know what it means to us that you're giving of your resources and time, and just thank you. It's so humbling. Thank you.
It really is. And if anybody else would like to help us out, it is always appreciated. Just go to patreon.com/sacrilegious discourse. Wow, I couldn't speak there for a second. And that's our main page there. There's levels all the way from $2 to $100. Whatever fits your budget is always appreciated. So
indeed, thank you.
So that was 2 Chronicles chapter 33 that we just did 2 days ago that we're late on.
Sure as fuck was.
And today we're going to be reading
2 Chronicles chapter 34.
All right, let's go do this.
Okie dokie. Okay. 2 Chronicles chapter 34.
Okay.
So we're picking up with Josiah. Okay.
Yep.
Josiah was 8 years old when he became king.
Because his dad only lasted like 2 seconds. So like they were like, oh fuck.
No,
I guess we get the little one here.
And he reigned in Jerusalem 31 years.
I mean, he was 8 years old, so that means he didn't even make it to 40.
Right?
Shit.
Jeez. He did what was right in the eyes of the Lord and followed the ways of his father David.
But Manasseh got to reign for 50 years. That was after he took power.
Mm-hmm.
And he was killing babies.
Mm-hmm.
That's bullshit.
Not turning aside to the right or to the left. Meaning he stayed on the straight path.
Okay.
Yeah. He was not...
But do you think it was
tempted.
the entire time?
That's what it's saying. He was not tempted.
Right now it says that, but like maybe 2 sentences from now it might say something different.
True. Let's keep reading.
Yeah.
In the 8th year of his reign, so this kid is 16 years old now.
16, yeah.
While he was still young...
Just got his horse and buggy license.
I was just going to say his driver's license. He began to seek the God of his father David.
Okay.
I like that they're calling it his father instead of his like great grandfather.
Right, yeah. Definitely.
The chronicler sneaking that in there again.
Yeah.
Love you, David. In his 12th year, he began to purge Judah and Jerusalem of high places, Asherah poles, and idols. Good on you, boy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Under his direction, the altars of the Baals were torn down. He cut to pieces the incense altars that were above them and smashed the Asherah poles and the idols.
You gotta smash them. You can't just like disassemble them.
Right.
You gotta smash them.
Well, I mean, they were probably like made of brick or ceramic or whatever, right?
Right. But you maybe like unmortar the brick or something, and use the bricks again. I mean,
I'm imagining the idols were like ceramic doll like figures, like figurines, you know. You smash it, you throw it to the ground.
Fair enough.
Yeah, that. Like, what do you mean disassemble?
I don't know. I'm just trying to, recycle.
Are you assembling an altar?
You never know. I don't know. They used to make those altars out of the rocks, so you just take the rocks apart and you can reuse the rocks for something else, like a wall.
Oh my god.
Or a battlement.
No.
You need it for the battlements.
That's not how that works.
Okay.
These he broke to pieces and scattered over the graves of those who had sacrificed to them.
Oh.
Damn. He's salting their graves with it.
But they like those gods, so they're probably
He's like, here, have it.
Whatever. I'll take them. Those are my gods.
He burned the bones of the priests on their altars, and so he purged Judah and Jerusalem. He was not joking around.
He burned the priests' bones?
Yep.
Damn.
Yep. Have you ever seen the remains of, like, if you have your cat cremated and they give you the box back?
No.
my sister had a couple cats at different times died through her life, and they give them the remains. And I always just imagined that it was like all ashes, but it's not. And,
Right.
And so, like, you don't open it and look at it because that would be gross.
Right.
But you can hear and feel.
There's little bits in there.
There's bits and pieces, like
Yeah.
probably teeth and a couple of bones that didn't quite like melt down all the way or whatever.
Yeah.
Like it's really grody. And so I imagine when Josiah is burning the priest's bones, there's still that little bit left.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
That's grody.
Right.
In the towns of Manasseh, Ephraim, and Simon, as far as Naphtali and in the ruins around them, he tore down the altars and the Asherah poles and crushed the idols to powder.
Crushed them.
And cut to pieces all the incense altars throughout Israel.
What do you suppose he crushed them with?
Then he went back to Jerusalem.
Did he have like a stomping pole or something? Like, little metal stake that you like pound them to dust?
If they're just like ceramic figurines, he might have just stepped on them.
That's true. Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Right.
I'm imagining. I'm
trying to be funny, and you're taking it seriously.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I just, I'm waiting for some cut here, and you're like, I don't know, maybe he's doing this. And I'm like, I don't give a fuck. He's smashing the shit.
Okay, that reminds me actually of the time that I worked in an office, and my boss was bringing boxes in, and so I was like, oh, I'll help, and I went out to get one, and she was like, you're gonna want to use the dolly. And I was like, oh no, I can carry it. It's fine. Like, it's a little heavy, but whatever. And she was like, no, you're going to want to use the dolly.
Okay.
And I brought the box in, and I didn't realize that, like, yeah, that was so nice of me to bring that one box in. But, like, hello, there's, like, a whole truckload. And I didn't realize that. Yeah, I wanted to use the dolly.
Yeah, I bet you did.
Yeah. And, okay, but there's, me not understanding why you need a tool. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so, like, another time was opening letters. I was like, who needs a fucking letter opener? That's ridiculous. Well, yeah, if you only open, like,
2 letters a day or something.
Well, even, like, how often do we open envelopes?
I mean, not very often.
Not very often, right?
Right.
But if you're opening a bunch, especially, like, during, like, a seasonal activity where I'm, like, stacks and stacks, yeah, you want a fucking letter opener.
Yeah, because you don't want paper cuts.
Right. So, see, I'm picturing he throws a figurine down and he stomps on it with his foot, right? But no, you're right. He needed a dolly. He needed a letter opener.
If you're smashing a ton of these things, you gotta crush them with something.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
So, I don't know what he crushed them with.
Right.
But it wasn't funny.
No.
Okay, sorry. In the 18th year, so 2 years later, of Josiah's reign. Well, no. I thought it was going to say when he was 18, but no, it's 18 years later.
Right.
Regardless of how old he is.
Sure.
To purify the land and the temple, he sent Shaphan, son of Azaliah, and Messiah, the ruler of the city, with Joah, son of Joahaz, the recorder, to repair the temple of the Lord his God.
Okay.
They went to Hilkiah, the high priest, and gave him the money that had been brought into the temple of God, which the Levites, who were the gatekeepers, had collected from the people of Manasseh, Ephraim, and the entire remnant of Israel, and from all the people of Judah and Benjamin and the inhabitants of Jerusalem.
Got it.
Then they entrusted it to the men appointed to supervise the work on the Lord's temple.
And these guys were the trustworthy ones, weren't they? They were the ones that always did things correctly, and they never charged too much, and they did all the things correct, right?
They did all things correct.
That's what I recall from that. So.
Yeah, and I said, oh no, because I had...
lost your spot.
I had lost my spot again.
Yeah, and here I was covering really well. You could have just skipped over
But
that.
I didn't know because I said, oh no, at the same time, and so then I had to explain why I said, oh no.
Got it.
Yeah, we're professionals.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, don't you know?
Okay, so these men paid the workers who repaired and restored the temple. Yeah, they could totally be trusted. Mm-hmm. They were capably... That was from Kings, but they were very trustworthy. Yeah. They also gave money to the carpenters and builders to purchase dressed stone as opposed to naked stone.
What is dressed stone?
I don't know.
I'm curious.
They wore their shoes and pants.
I don't know what dressed stone is.
All my stones are naked.
Right. Yeah. I mean, all the stones I have are naked as well.
How many stones do you have?
I'd have to go around and count. I don't know that I have a whole lot.
No, I don't either.
Yeah. I mean, there's probably some stones in here. I just don't know
There's a couple of polished stones in the backyard from the people that lived in the house before us.
Is there?
Yeah, they decorated a couple and put in the window on the outside.
Oh, that's right.
And I just left them because I just thought they were neat.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Our kid used to love to give us rocks.
Oh my God. And how?
Yeah.
Like boxes and boxes of fucking rocks.
Right?
You love a toddler when you let them give you fucking rocks and pretend that the rocks are special.
And they would remember them sometimes. So where's that one?
Where's that
and I'm
one?
like, wait, you remember that?
Like, oh, honey, we had to put it back outside so it could be with its other rock friends. Oh my God, so many fucking rocks.
Yeah.
If you have kids, shout out. You
right?
know.
Yeah, rocks.
If you know, you know. Yeah. Okay, so blah, blah, blah. Timber for joists and beams for the buildings that the kings of Judah had allowed to fall into ruin. The workers labored faithfully. Over them to direct them were Jahath and Obadiah, Levites descended from Merari, and Zechariah and Meshullam, descended from Kohath.
Yeah, it's important shit.
The Levites, all who were skilled in playing musical instruments, except for not the saxophone, had charge of the laborers. I'm so sorry, but he's like, these guys were so good at playing music, and also they supervised all the workers from job to job.
Well, I feel like the music playing was very important. They bring it up a lot.
They do.
So it must have been a very high-profile job.
Like, this is how we supervise. We play music at you.
Right. So maybe they just were really well thought of people. So they're like, and you can do this too. You know, I don't know.
So while you're playing music, can you stand here? Thank you.
Right. I mean, you can watch somebody work while you're playing, trumpet or something, right?
I guess.
So
I don't want to either work or play a trumpet.
Right.
I'm kind of lazy, actually. I just want to lay in the sun.
Yeah.
If I'm being honest.
Right.
Some of the Levites were secretaries, scribes, and gatekeepers. Okay?
Were they?
Just so you know.
Yeah.
Some were. I bet some also were herdsmen and fed the animals. And I bet some were also people who tied their shoes and put pants on. I mean, I don't know, whatever.
Yeah. No, totally. But some were kids. Didn't do anything.
Some wiped their ass. Some didn't.
Yeah. Well, I hope they all did, but
some didn't.
Probably not.
Boy's nasty. While they were out bringing the money that had been taken into the temple of the Lord, Hilkiah the priest found the book of the law of the Lord that had been given through Moses.
This is where they found the book. Mm-hmm. And we were like, look. Wait, they lost it? Like, we didn't know they lost it. We're like, what?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're like, look what I found.
So that would indicate to us that the ark is still around. Possibly. Because that book was supposed to be with the ark. Mm-hmm. But also, how do you lose the ark?
Right.
You know what I mean? I feel like maybe I don't know.
I feel like it was in Ethiopia all
I was going to say, we discussed it maybe being in Ethiopia. So maybe that got taken to Ethiopia, and the book had been, somebody was like looking at it as they were taking it out, and they're like, oh, I don't really need this book, and just set it down. and then the book got lost, and they're like, oh, look, there's the book.
Look at that. Yeah, it's a whole Bible.
We don't have the ark anymore. Man, we got the book.
We got the book.
That's the book, man.
Yeah. I think that the ark is in Ethiopia.
I mean, that's my theory, too.
Yeah.
It seems the most plausible.
I want somebody to do a documentary. I think we already said all this.
I want to just fly a fucking little mini drone in there and just see if we can, you know what I mean? Like see if we can get a picture of it or something.
Yeah, like there go the ark.
Right?
Hilkiah said to Shaphan the secretary, I found the book of the law in the temple of the Lord. What? He gave it to Shaphan. Then Shaphan took the book to the king and reported to him, your officials are doing everything that has been committed to them. They have paid out the money that was in the temple of the Lord and have entrusted it to the supervisors and workers. Mm-hmm. Then Shaphan the secretary informed the king, hey, guess what? Hilkiah the priest has given me a book.
Yeah.
Yo, what up? This is so cool.
Yeah.
And Shaphan read from it in the presence of the king. When the king heard the words of the law, he tore his robes.
Did he now? Because he's like, fuck, we've been doing this wrong.
I've been doing the God thing so wrong.
But don't you think if you were doing it wrong and you were doing right, like this guy's supposedly doing right by the Lord, right?
Yeah.
Don't you think God would be like, hey, I know you don't know this because you guys, somebody years ago misplaced this fucking book.
Right.
But you're doing this wrong, guys. You need to change your ways because this is wrong. Because
then in this case, it wouldn't be their fault they're doing it wrong.
Right.
They were not
The prophets come down and tell them all kinds of other shit. Like, don't go to battle and stuff like that. Why can't they tell them, hey, you're doing this wrong?
Yeah.
I mean, like, what?
I could tell you
Just
that
saying.
I would not want to be the prophet that is telling the king you're doing God wrong.
Yeah, but they don't seem to have any qualms with, like,
Telling them.
calling the kings out sometimes.
Right.
So they're like, I'm with God, so you're wrong.
Yeah.
And then the kings are like, well, okay,
But
or
I'm
not.
the king, though.
Right.
I wouldn't want to be the prophet.
No, I mean, I agree.
I wouldn't mind being a prophet as long as nobody knew that I was a prophet and I could keep that shit to myself.
Right.
I'll do right in my house.
Well, besides, if you're a prophet and you're wrong,
Uh-huh.
they can stone you to death.
Yeah.
So you always have to be right.
Yeah, I'm not trying to tell people my prophecies.
Right.
Fuck that. He gave these orders to Hilkiah, Ahikam, son of Shaphan, Abdon, son of Micah, Shaphan, the secretary, and Aziah, the king's attendant. Okay, so he's giving these instructions. Ready?
Got it, yeah.
Go and inquire of the Lord for me and for the remnant in Israel and Judah about what is written in this book that has been found. Great is the Lord's fucking anger that is poured out on us because those who have gone before us have not kept the fucking word of the Lord. God damn it.
Yeah.
They have not acted in fucking accordance with all that is written in this goddamn book.
They're like, look at this shit. We aren't supposed to be eating that shrimp, and we're not supposed to be wearing these mixed threads.
Right.
And we're not supposed to be eating bacon. Like,
Oh.
guys, we are fucking up, man.
We all got to go get circumcised pronto.
I'm not sure why we haven't all been smoked, but, here it is.
Oh, thank
we got to
God.
watch out from now on.
Yeah, because now we know.
Because now it's there.
Yeah.
And that makes all the difference now that we've read it.
Mm-hmm.
We know better.
Yep.
And God didn't tell us before, but he got this book out for some reason. He's like, maybe we're going to pull out these old rules.
Right.
So
Hilkiah and those the king had sent with him went to speak to the prophet Huldah, who was the wife of Shallum, son of Tokath, the son of Hazra, keeper of the wardrobe. She lived in Jerusalem in the new quarter.
Okay.
I forgot they went and talked to a woman.
Yeah, I forgot that too. But she was pretty important, it seemed like, or something.
I don't recall.
Maybe I'm not thinking of the right person, but they're talking to a woman.
I know. That's pretty fucking amazing. She said to them, "This is what the Lord, the God of Israel, says. Tell the man who sent you to me, this is what the Lord says. I am going to bring disaster on this place and its people. All the curses written in the book that has been read in the presence of the king of Judah, because they have forsaken me and burned incense to other gods and aroused my anger by all that their hands have made. My anger will be poured out on this place and will not be quenched."
But this guy was a good king.
But
and
now
he's getting rid of all that shit.
I wasn't mad till you reminded me by reading it. Now I remember how much I hate you.
It's bullshit.
I'm gonna smite you so bad.
I don't approve of this. That's bullshit.
He is so sing-songy. I don't know why I made him. Her, she's sing-songy.
Right, yeah.
Seemed like some a dumb man would say, though.
That would
Yeah. She was sing-songy and she was like, God hates you, nanny, nanny, boo-boo, stick your head in doo-doo.
Mm-hmm.
Tell the king of Judah who sent you to inquire of the Lord, this is what the Lord, the God of Israel, says concerning the words you heard. Because your heart was responsive and you humbled yourself before God when you heard what he spoke against this place and its people, and because you humbled yourself before me and tore your robes and wept in my presence, I have heard you, declares the Lord. Now I will gather you to your ancestors and you will be buried in peace. Your eyes will not see all the disaster I am going to bring on this place and on those who live here.
So he's going to wait before he's like, you guys are all right, but they're going to continue to be bad after you're dead.
As soon as you're dead, it's on. I'm smiting the fuck out of all y'all.
Yeah, you guys bought a reprieve, but that's it.
Hope you don't have kids.
Right.
Because they are fucked.
Right, yeah.
So they took her answer back to the king. Then the king called together all the elders of Judah and Jerusalem. He went up to the temple of the Lord with the people of Judah, the inhabitants of Jerusalem, the priests and the Levites, all the people from the least to the greatest. He read in their hearing all the words of the book of the covenant. That's a lot of fucking words.
That's a lot, yeah.
Which had been found in the temple of the Lord. Remember?
Because I'm assuming it's like all the books, like all the laws and all that kind of shit, and how to build this, that, and the other. Like, you read all the words?
I mean, just even Leviticus alone.
Right?
Germany, Christmas.
Yeah.
The king stood by his pillar and renewed the covenant in the presence of the Lord to follow the Lord and keep his commands, statutes, and decrees with all his heart and soul and to obey the words of the covenant written in this book. Then he had everyone in Jerusalem and Benjamin pledge themselves to it. The people of Jerusalem did this in accordance with the covenant of God, the God of their ancestors. Josiah removed all the detestable idols from all the territory belonging to the Israelites, and he had all who were present in Israel serve the Lord their God.
Okay.
As long as he lived, they did not fail to follow the Lord, the God of their ancestors. The end.
As long as he lived. Because it's about the king. It's always about the king.
As soon as he dies and somebody bad takes over, then the people suddenly just switch their religion.
Because it's not you can't. God's not enforcing shit.
Right.
You know, like that they've proven that in the fact that like
the book was lost and then it was found.
Well, yeah, and the punishments that he doles out are not equivalent. They're not equal. So it's not. There is no consistency to his behavior when it comes to punishing people that are bad and under his eyes or good.
Right.
So therefore, if you were to ask me as a person living in this country where, you know, God and other gods exist according to people, then I'd be like, I'm just as likely to believe in that as some other god, because it doesn't make any sense.
Right.
He's not consistent. If he's a god, he would be consistent, wouldn't he?
I would think so. But that's why they believed in many different gods, because that explains the inconsistency from one god to another. But it's almost as if, like, every generation, their god is different from the god that lived previous to
yeah,
to
no,
this
I mean,
one.
definitely the Lord, God, I am, has evolved from something to something else.
Yeah.
Like, it's definitely not the same God that was at the beginning of the Bible, in the middle so far, of what we read, and to now. It's definitely changed again and again and again and again as to what and where he punishes and how angry this God is, etc.
Yeah.
Like, it consistently is changing throughout the Bible.
He's a lot more hands-off, and he's a lot angrier.
Yeah.
He's...
Well, at certain points.
He's either, like, uninterested or angry.
Right.
One or the other.
Yeah. And it usually just kind of comes out of nowhere.
Right.
So.
Exactly. It's not very loving, I can tell you that.
No.
I've not seen cases where he has actually loved the people.
Right. Right.
I mean, the kindest thing he's done recently is be like, well, y'all did remind me how much I hate you and want to smite you, but, you know.
But I won't kill you yet. I'll kill your progeny.
Your children. Yeah. I'll kill your children.
Right.
Y'all all right.
Yeah.
Because you're crying about how much you fucked up.
Right.
You know, I forgive you, whatever. I'll just kill your kids.
All right. Well, that was 2 Chronicles chapter 34.
Sure as fuck was.
And tomorrow we will be back with
2 Chronicles chapter 35.
All right. We'll see you guys then.
Bye.
Hey, wife. I guess that's the end?
But husband, that's just sad.
It doesn't have to be. We are on lots of social media platforms like Twitter. Our handle there is sacrilegious_D.
For D's nuts.
Oh my God. Stop doing that. Anyway, we're also on Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest. There's a link to all of our social media sites at our website.
Ooh, we have a website?
Yeah, it's sacrilegiousdiscourse.com, where you can also find a link to our merch shop.
We have a merch shop?
Yep, we have podcast-themed clothing, mugs, notebooks, and more, as well as an atheist and science-themed products.
Wow, our fans should really go check that out right now.
Definitely. They can get in touch with us by sending an email to sacrilegiousdiscourse@gmail.com. But before they do that, we could really use some help.
Oh yeah? With what?
Well, it's not free running the podcast, and we need some financial support in order to get better equipment, which will free up time so we can concentrate on our podcast and our fans.
Okay, so what should they do?
Head over to patreon.com/sacrilegiousdiscourse and sign up as a contributor on our podcast. Supporters there receive additional bi-weekly episodes that we record just for our Patreon members for as little as $2 a month.
Also, we'd really appreciate it if you would like and subscribe on whatever platform you're using.
And Apple Podcast reviews help us out tremendously.
Like and subscribe. Leave an Apple review. Join us on Twitter. Support us on Patreon. That's a lot of instructions. Don't forget to say thanks.
Thanks.
Okay, bye.
Want your most burning finance and investing questions answered? Here's a podcast you should be listening to. courtesy of Acast Recommends.
Are you ready for some personality in your personal finances? Hi, I'm Janice Torres Rodriguez, Latina money expert and host of the award-winning podcast, Yo Quiero Dinero. On this show, we're serving up POC-friendly personal finance knowledge, always with a side of sass. We're not talking about avocado toast and lattes on this show. We've got real, relatable personal finance knowledge that makes you feel seen, heard, and finally understood. Consider me your super cool, slightly risque, but always honest financial fairy godmother. Together, we'll tackle dinero in a fresh new way so you can finally become poderosa with your dinero. Check out our weekly podcast episodes at yoquierodineropodcast.com or subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts.
Acast helps creators launch, grow, and monetize their podcasts everywhere. Acast.com.